Alright, welcome back to Mansions of Madness. We're doing a playthrough of Scenario 3 of the base game, which is called Blood Ties. We had the setup last time. We have Joe Diamond, Sister Mary, sitting here by the campfire. There was a blood-curdling scream somewhere to the northeast. And now it is time for the investigators to take their turn. So what investigators can do on their turn is they get 2 move actions, which means they can move 2 spaces. And spaces in the outside are delineated by the little white lines. So you can see them being split into sections. And when you're inside of a building, like up here, each space in a building is considered 1 space, unless the building itself has a white line, squiggly white line crossing it, which then the room itself would have 2 spaces. And they can also perform 1 action. And actions can be things like attacking, searching, or exploring, as they call it, picking up an item, dropping an item. So anyway, let's start off with Joe Diamond, of course, with his 45s at the ready, hearing the blood-curdling scream. Somewhere in the northeast is going to take his turn first, and he's going to go and investigate. So he says to Sister Mary, "Wait here. I'll be right back after I find out what's going on." So he takes 1 movement step, 2 movement steps into the front path area, and he's going to do an explore. So he's going to explore this yard area, and there is a card here. Now, when you explore in this game, the card is considered to be in the entire area, so you don't have to actually go to the place where the card sits. The card is just sitting in the area to designate that there is something there that you can search for. So Joe basically does 2 movements, and he searches, trying to find out where the scream came from, and he finds nothing of interest. So the scream must have come from somewhere else, because there was nothing of interest there. All right. Now that's Joe Diamond's turn. He's had, I guess, 3 actions, if you want to call them that. 2 movements and 1 action. So you get 2 movement actions, 1 action. Now Sister Mary, left by the fire as Joe goes over to explore the front path, says a prayer to herself for whoever was screaming, and decides that she will go over to the graveyard and say some prayers for the deceased over in the graveyard area. So she's going to take 1 movement step to here, and then as soon as she does that, of course, the keeper, which is also being played by me, does something, of course, not good. So the keeper then, as soon as Sister Mary takes 1 movement into the graveyard area, is going to play a Mythos card. And this Mythos card says Unholy Presence. And it's the requirement here says a crypt, ceremony room, graveyard, chapel, or a space with an altar. So you play these cards on the hero or the investigator's turn. So, and this costs 1 threat. Now, as you remember, the keeper had 2 threats, so I have to spend 1 threat to play this card. That's the cost up in the upper left corner. And it says, I'll say the area stinks of blood and unholy ceremonies. You sense a lingering presence of some ancient evil. A figure rises from the shadows. Place 1 cultist in this room. So, as Sister Mary goes over to the graveyard, out from behind one of the tombstones comes a horrible figure, a robed cultist, doing unnatural things, of course, in the graveyard. So I will actually have him come and be right into her space. Now, as soon as a monster appears in your room, you must make a horror check. And so the horror check for this particular creature, this cultist, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you see a 1 there. So she is going to be able to add +1 to her horror check. And Sister Mary's, when you do a horror check, you use your willpower. Her willpower is 7, so she needs an 8 because of the +1. So she has to roll 8 or less to pass a horror check. And she rolls 7, so the cultist does not horrify her. However, she's startled, obviously. And so now she has done 1 action, and the keeper has sprung a trap on her. So now for her second action, in response, she's going to use her holy water. And this will be her 1 action. It says choose a monster within 1 range of you and test your luck. And if she passes it, she'll deal the monster 1 damage, and he'll be stunned. So she's going to try throwing the holy water on the cultist. And her luck is 4. So she needs to roll a 4 or less for the holy water to have its effect. And she rolls a 6. So she fails to do anything with the holy water. Now, she doesn't particularly want to be staying in the same space as a cultist. So she is, wow, she's in a bit of a tight spot here. She wanted to get away from the cultist, but if she does, she will have to make an evade check. Her dexterity is 6. And when you make an evade check at the top here, to evade the cultist, you see a -1. So that would be, she would have to roll 5 or less to evade. If she doesn't evade, then the cultist gets a free attack at her. So I think she's just going to stay there. She tried throwing the holy water on her, on the cultist, and we'll leave that off there as the player's turn. So now we go over to the keeper phase. So our 2 adventurers have had their actions and their turns, and now we're going to go over to the keeper, and he's going to be doing his evil things. Okay, so here we are over at the keeper area where he has several options. The first thing that happens on the keeper's turn is if 2 of the player characters are in the same space, they can freely exchange items. But Sister Mary and Joe Diamond are not in the same space, so we will skip that. The next thing that happens is the keeper gains threat tokens, and he gains 1 threat token for each character. So of course there are 2 characters in the game. He's going to collect 2 threat tokens. So now he has a total of 3. Now, with his 3 threat tokens, he can begin playing actions. And the keeper actions I explained last time are these 5 cards here. And so what the keeper can do is he can raise dead, he can use evil presence, pyromaniac, creature of the night, or take sample. And so the first thing that I'm going to want the keeper to do is he's going to use the raise dead ability. And the raise dead ability says, we'll look at it here. Very nice artwork too on these cards. So the raise dead ability. So I'm going to pay 1 threat to place 1 corpse marker on the graveyard or the crypt. So I will in fact take a corpse marker. And corpse markers are these little tokens showing a body. And I'm going to actually place that in the crypt. So just slightly off camera here. The crypt is right here. I'm going to put a corpse marker in the crypt. So that costs 1 threat token. And the next thing I'm going to do is I am actually going to spend 1 more threat token to play Evil Presence, and that means draw a Mythos card and a Trauma card. So I get to draw, 1 Trauma card and 1 Mythos card. So I'll take a look at those later, but they will be, I will not reveal what they are to you because the more fun is to not know what the keeper is going to play on the characters as the game progresses. Okay, and I think that is all I'm going to do as far as the keeper spending threat tokens. So the next thing that comes up in the keeper's phase is the monster attack phase. And we do have 1 cultist right in Sister Mary's space, so that cultist will be attacking Sister Mary. So let's go back to the board and see what happens. So here we are in the graveyard. The cultist has come out from behind a tombstone doing some evil deeds, I'm sure, startling Sister Mary, who tried throwing some holy water on him and missed. And now it is time for the cultist to attack Sister Mary. So what we do is we use one of the humanoid attack cards, which is this one here. And we were going to have a look at, now it has 2 parts on the card. One of them is ranged weapon, or it will be different, could be melee, could be ranged at the top, and at the bottom is the monster attack. So I'm going to reposition the camera so I can focus in on the card, and we'll take a look at the attack. Okay, so we're zoomed out a little bit here so that we can actually get a look at this card. Okay, so we're using the bottom part which says monster attack. The monster charges you, screaming gibberish. Oh, this is not good for Sister Mary. Test strength. Okay, Sister Mary needs to test strength. Now, you can use clue tokens. I said it earlier that Joe Diamond and Sister Mary both have 3. She could use a clue token to add her luck to her strength ability. Her strength is 2, which is pretty weak. I think she is going to spend 1 of her clue tokens, or her skill tokens, to add luck to her strength. So now it is 6, because her luck is 4, her strength is 2. So you add them together, 6. So she needs to roll a 6 or less. Come on, Sister Mary. And she rolls a 9. I guess she didn't even need to bother spending her skill point. All right, that's probably not good. And the card, of course, has a pass or fail effect. So if she passed the test, you do the top effect, but she failed. It says it overpowers you and starts gnawing at your face. Take 1 horror and the monster damages you. Oh boy, this is off to an awful start for Sister Mary. And all she wanted to do was go to the graveyard and pay her respects. So she is going to take 1 horror. Now these horror tokens are I don't know if you can see the graphic on that, but they're kind of cool little tokens. They just keep track of how much horror you have. Now she has sanity of 12, so she can take an awful lot of horror before she has to worry too much about anything that's going on. All right, but she also gets damaged, and underneath the cultist, now that he has actually attacked, it shows some statistics, and this here 1 is how much damage the cultist does. So the cultist damages her for 1, and so I just use the damage tokens here. I just use a little 1, and I'll put that over on her player area. She has a health of 8, so now she's down to 7. So that didn't go very well. She tried to dodge out of the cultist's attack and could not do it. Now that ends the monster attack phase, and the last phase of the keeper turn is the timer tokens here. Now there's a 2 on here, so this is the end of the turn. We put 1 timer token on there. The end of next turn, when a second one goes on, we're going to flip over this card and we're going to reveal what it is we need to do. All right, bit of a recap, and we'll say that is the end of turn 1. Okay, so here we are at the end of turn 1. Joe Diamond led on a merry chase, trying to find out where that blood-curdling scream came from. Sister Mary over in the graveyard, she was just going to go pay her respects to some of the dead, and a cultist was in there doing some nefarious deed, sprung up on her, and actually attacked and injured her. She tried throwing holy water but missed. Anyway, that is the end of turn 1, and next time, of course, we'll be getting into turn 2. The nice thing about the game is there is a timer mechanic, which means time is ticking away. The investigators must find out what they need to do, and of course the keeper knows what they need to do, and the keeper knows what he needs to do, and it's I don't know, it's quite a fun game, very well done. Anyway, thanks for watching turn 1. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, liking the videos. Join me next time when we see if Joe Diamond and Sister Mary can progress in this scenario. Maybe Sister Mary can do a little better with chucking her holy water next time. All right, thanks for watching. Join me next time for turn 2.